edition of Mortgage Monday?
Absolutely.
Okay, so hi y'all. Welcome to another edition of Mortgage Mondays, and I'm here with Greg as usual. And after our last discussion, we talked about when is a good time to think about being a homeowner. So now, let's say that you've decided that owning a home is for you, and you're at the point where you're wondering, okay, where do I start? How do I need to get prepared? What do I need? What are the documents I need? And all of those kind of questions. So we will try to answer these in this series of video, the next video. So Greg, I have a question for you again. So I decided I want my house. Now,
Okay.
What do I do?
All right. First step is to contact the lender. Whether it's me or someone else, first step is to contact the lender. Now, the lender's going to ask you a series of questions. They should anyway. We want to understand your needs, your goals, your time frame, and some basics. Now, once that's done, then you're going to go to complete an application. The pre-qualification, pre-approval application can be done numerous ways. In the days past, you would actually meet with the lender face-to-face, they'd fill it out. Today, in most cases, it's done either over the phone or it's done online. Most people today can do it online. But that's why that phone call up front is so important, because it helps the lender when they see the data come in to know a little bit about your situation, not just going online, filling out an application, making it a transaction rather than a relationship. So you want to have the phone call, then you want to complete the application. As part of the application, the next step is to upload your documents so the lender can then look at the documents and say, this pay stub supports the income that you told me and that you noted on your application. So we're going to want to look at supporting documents, things like pay stubs, W-2s, possibly tax returns, depending on the nature of someone's employment. If they're commissioned, if they're self-employed, if they're straight salary, if they're hourly with overtime, how long they've been on their jobs. All of that information will come out on both the phone call and the application and then the supporting documents. Now, sometimes people say, well, I think I should wait with that because, I just made this change, or I'm nervous about my credit. The lender cannot help until they see the full picture, and that includes the credit. And sometimes that's the best thing, is let's get the credit ran, because there might be something you can change in your credit profile with some simple changes, and then see the scores go up higher and whatever it takes to be. So the first step, get with your lender, you have that phone call, make sure they're going through your needs, your goals, your wants, and some basic information, then complete the application, then upload the supporting documents, and then have that call with the lender so you understand exactly where you stand from a credit standpoint as well as an income and employment standpoint. Does that help?
Yes, that does help. And that brings my next question, which is, how many lenders should I talk to? Do I just talk to one, or are they all offering the same thing, or do I talk to many and see what they're saying? What do I do? And do they all run my credit too?
Great question. Okay, normally I recommend having that phone call with maybe one or two, maybe three lenders. The idea behind that phone call, that's where a few weeks ago we did a thing on building trust. That's the first thing. You want to find a lender that you can trust. And the way you can start that process is by, when you have your phone call with them, if all they do is send you to the website and say, well, go fill out the application and we'll talk. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think that builds a lot of trust. I want to know your situation. And I think the best lenders do that. So the first step, whether you're going to speak to one or two or three, is going to be dependent upon how comfortable you are after that first, second, or third phone call. Sometimes I'm the first phone call, and then nobody has to go beyond me. Sometimes I'm the third phone call because they were uncomfortable with the first two. So it really depends on the situation. Does that help?
Yes. And do they all, because I know every time somebody or a company looks at your credit, it kind of hurts you. So if I'm in a process of, because as a real estate agent, I do recommend talking to a few people, but sometimes, I feel like, well, that might bring my credit down.
Okay, as far as credit, as long as it's from the same industry in a 30-day period, you can have multiple runs on your credit. But quite frankly, I don't know why you need to do that unless you don't like what the first lender has told you. Because if I'm your second phone call, one of the questions I'm going to ask you is, did you speak with another lender? Did they run your credit? If so, did they give you what your credit scores were? Because if you tell me what your credit scores are, I don't need to rerun your credit. Mine are going to be the same as what you just ran, as long as it was within that 30-day window. So I'll just ask you that. Now, if the scores are lower, I might then ask you, what did they tell you about what I call the drivers of your credit? What are those things that are keeping the score down as opposed to giving you a higher credit score? If you don't know that answer, then I might want to look at the credit just to ensure that myself and the other lender are on the same page with what we're telling you.